Theatre video number 5. Okay, what we're going to be looking at is adding additional parts to songs. And what I mean by this is we're going to be adding things such as some reverb and delay, and then we'll be looking at bouncing it out as an MP3. Okay, so to add reverb, you click on this button here, this down arrow, and you'll go to here and add automation, and then you've got options here. So I've added reverb to this, and this is what I'm going to solo it. Click there. This is what it sounds like with 100% reverb. So it's too much reverb for me. I think 30 will be enough reverb for this one. I'm going to do this with the other horns here. So I'll click here like this, click on this button here, add automation, click here, then click on reverb. So that's echo and reverb, click on the reverb, click here, go to the beginning of the track, and I've moved it up to 30. Try it at different levels to see which you think sounds good. Then I'm going to do it to the other horns here. So that's add automation, and then reverb. Okay, let's see how the horns sound with a bit of reverb. Okay, and we're now going to click on the piano and add automation. Let's see if there's any reverb currently in the piano. And it's at 14, I'll bump that up to 20. Now, you don't really want to exceed any more than 50 on reverb, otherwise it will sound too distant and too faint. Around 20 or 30 is generally a good level. Okay, add some reverb here. Strings probably already have a bit of reverb, we'll just check. Okay, let's have a feel there, have a look. Yeah, bump them to about 30, that'll be nice around there. Okay, the drums. Let's check the drums. They definitely need a little bit of reverb, they're a bit dry. You'll hear the difference. Yeah, I thought so, they had no reverb. Put it to about 20. Have a listen to the drums now. Sounding much better. Another thing what I'm going to add very shortly is we can pan selected tracks to the left and to the right. Okay, the reason we're going to pan to the left and right is to create space. So I'm going to leave the drums in the middle and the main key part in the middle. See here? So that's all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So I'm going to put this to about 20 like this, just to the side a bit. So as you'll notice, this will be coming slightly out to the left hand side. I'm going to bump the strings slightly. So at the moment I've got them all the way to the right. There we go, back to the side a bit. Now the guitar, I'm going to move that to the left like that. I think that will sound good. Drums pretty much center. Horn section, bump that to the side. I'll bump the other horns this way. leave that piano down the middle, and bump these horns a bit that way like this. Now have a listen to the difference from the beginning. So that's straight down the middle. Slightly to the side for the blip side. Now these strings, they're going to be slightly to the other side, the right hand side. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do before creating MP3 is we go up here to Control. So we'll go to Track, and we'll go Show Master Track. So this is the master track in here. We're going to click on the master track and hit Add Automation. So we've got EQ, we won't really touch that. There's Reverb, and then there's Echo. Echo Volume, Echo Time. We'll hit Reverb Volume, and we'll do Echo Time. So I'll click those two. So itself, we'll do Echo Time. So it's set to quarter. Let's have a listen how it sounds with Echo Time. That's Echo Time. Let's check the reverb. This is reverb at 100%. So double clicking over here. Double clicking up here on master track. So what happens is if you go to the master track, which is down the bottom here, which is the master volume, for example, double click on that and it will open up the side here. Then I've got the reverb manual, and then we've got, or echo I mean, at the top, and then reverb. So you can play around with if you want a short reverb or a long reverb. I mean long echo, and then for this one, same distance with reverb. You can have there's a whole big bunch of different reverbs to listen to. So I'm just gonna pop this down. You don't want to have it too high. So at the moment that's at 0, and I've put it to, what's the master volume? So I'll put that back down at 0. Leave the master volume at 0. When you're adding things like echo time, that's at a quarter. It's fine. And this, I'll drop this down to 20%. Maximum, we'll leave it at 19. Let's have a listen. You don't want to have the reverb too high, so no more than 20%. Just to make sure it sounds right from here. Good. Okay, now to bounce it out, what you want to do is to hit share and then export song to disk. So that's share, export song to disk. Now compress using, so we'll go here, MP3, you've got different quality, we've got good, high, higher. So we're going to bounce it out at higher quality, so it's at so it's going to sound better. And you hit export. Then you're going to choose where to put it. So I'm going to hit my drive. Then I'm going to click on music. So I've got all my GarageBand, and then I'll call it MP3, just so we know it's an MP3 at the end. Hit save. Then it's going to create a mixdown, and then it's going to bounce out to an MP3. Then it normalizes it to make it louder for you. Now you can bring in a USB from home and copy your track as the current files, which are the GarageBand ones. You can't listen to them at home. But now by bouncing it out, you can now open this with QuickTime or VLC or iTunes, and you got a song. Fantastic. This concludes the 5th video.